You think I'll let you zone?
Baka.
Hey everybody, I was quite surprised at how popular Lanolin the Sheep was in the IDW comics at the time when the differences of opinions on her started to rage, and that was almost 2 years ago. But it hasn't changed. Lanolin the Devil Sheep not only is my most viewed video on the channel, I still get comments to this day about her actions and attitude towards the rest of the cast that I decided to update the video with new info on everything almost 2 years later now that the dust has settled on the current arc with issue 75 about the Diamond Cutters, but also Lanolin herself as more stuff finally became available but not necessarily canon because of reasons I'll explain in this video. So sit back, relax, or leave my video running in the background while you work, I don't care, but let's go over one of the most misunderstood characters in the canon comics, Lanolin the Sheep. Lanolin started out as a background character beginning with issue 2 of IDW's Sonic the Hedgehog comic book that takes place after Forces. She wasn't a major character or anything. The book's artist at the time, Adam Bryce Thomas, just drew a character he liked in the background with different outfits, and fans started to notice her and wondered who she was because she was a little more detailed than most. But it wasn't until a question was asked on Ian Flynn's podcast, the Bumblekast, about whom the sheep is, and he revealed her name to be Lanolin.
So, number one, Sheep Girl was designed by Adam Bryce Thomas, who is an absolute dynamo artist, which is why we're working together on our own original comic series, Drogoon. Check it out at drogoon.com. He kind of unofficially named her Lanolin, and he's popped her into the background here and there unscripted, which is perfectly fine by me. I don't know if she will get more exposure because any new character has to be approved by Sega.
A character Adam created but Sega owns. She was a regular background character that appeared with a brown dress and shoes. She also wears a cowbell, has black hoof fingers, and 4 buns. Now, I know many are wondering where are the features she's most known for, as she looks very different in the beginning. Well, Adam couldn't draw her how he wanted to because the team didn't want to get in trouble at the time with Sega Japan by adding an unauthorized character into the book, but you could see that he did start to give her a chest the more she was in the book. The first sighting of Lanolin was in issue 2 when she rushed to Sonic and Amy, telling them an invasion was happening in parts of Riverside. After they repelled the robots, she joined the restoration because after seeing Sonic's heroism, she didn't want anyone to feel the same fear and unpreparedness she felt when Riverside was attacked. Lanolin would make cameos all over the Metal Virus art, so much so that she became one of the last survivors when they set up shop at Angel Island trying to get Chaos Emeralds. Lanolin got her big break and redesigned by Adam Bryce Thomas himself to be more like he envisioned her, as this is her current design when she wears a tank top with a black sports bra, cargo pants, and combat boots, while her cowbell is a custom Wispon. In the Urban Warfare arc, Lanolin makes the jump from background character to main character in the book as she meets with Jewel to organize an early response unit that can help people and neutralize threats before they become a problem. She was looking for volunteers and found Tangle and Whisper were willing to join her. That's when she heard a new Eggman base was spotted, so she decided to go for a practice run with Sonic as backup. But she got more than she bargained for, as she hates being unprepared and recklessness. Sadly, she had 2 reckless people on her team in Sonic and Tangle who just wanted to wing it while assessing threats. She got into an argument with Sonic in Imperial City about what to do. She wanted to fall back and reassess before committing to a plan, but Sonic countered that it would become unstoppable if they left it alone for long enough. But Lanolin said if they're taken out now, it would be a moot point anyway. Later, Lanolin was sitting with her head in her knees when Tangle asked her if she had a plan to get out of the digital world, but Lanolin told her she wasn't the boss, she doesn't know what to do. Tangle said she has the traits to be a leader, and her and Whisper just can't do it. Lanolin said that she wasn't cut out for this, and when Tangle asked why did she create the team, Lanolin said out of desperation. She still remembered how her hometown was attacked and didn't want anyone to feel the same helplessness that she felt at that time. After the city was destroyed, Lanolin called the mission a complete failure and blamed herself for it. Tangle tried to cheer her up by saying that they failed together, which didn't help. Tangle went on that she made a lot of mistakes herself, but Jewel was always there to help her get back up on her feet and fix it. They will get out of this stronger and smarter. This got Lanolin to stand back up and ask how can she be so sure? Tangle said because they're awesome and they never give up. After the battle at Imperial City, we come to the part of her story. Lanolin had a meeting for the Diamond Cutters, and even though the mission with the city was technically completed, it was also a disaster, and asked Whisper how her old teammates organized themselves. but Whisper only said that they all volunteered to help out. Tangle asked does that mean that she'll get more teammates, as it's not a bad idea because the team gets more personnel, threats to combat targets, ideas, and skill sets. That's when Duo the cat walked in the door asking if they are recruiting, and Lanolin asked what could he do, and the cat was good with computers but also could shoot a Wispon if needed. Since they needed more members, his trial run will also be his training as well. Now by this time the audience knows Duo is really Mimic, and he starts trying to kill another member who joined Silver in training exercises to assess what everyone can do on the team so they can make plans accordingly, unbeknownst to Lanolin. Mimic had other plans, as when Lanolin ordered Silver to bring some rocks to her, Duo kicked Silver in the back, making them fall towards them, causing the team to tell him to focus on what he's doing. Then after a giant chopper almost ate Silver, he got mad at Duo for ditching him, but Lanolin told Silver to do better and not to make excuses for his mess ups, obviously referencing the rock incident and knowing Silver had for experience in these types of situations. He shouldn't blame the new guy for freezing up, not knowing Duo caused them in the first place, trying to be fair about the whole newbie thing and giving them the benefit of the doubt. Later she spots Silver and Whisper spying on Duo and saving the cat from falling over a railing. She called for them to come out from hiding and asked Silver what was he trying to do. Whisper said that they were spying on Duo because he is Mimic in disguise. Lanolin demanded proof because she can't take just their word for it for a number of reasons, but Whisper said that they would later, and she already saw some tells on who he actually was, but Lanolin defended Duo, saying Whisper was harassing the teammate after Mimic took a dive and hurt himself. That was the nail in the coffin for Silver to be off the team. She excused Whisper to an extent because of her trauma by being swayed by Silver. After that, during the clean sweep sweepstakes, Lanolin was seen ruining the fun, being a stickler for the rules, so much so that after Sonic, Tails, and Amy's extreme gear malfunctioned, causing a crash, she asked him to withdraw from the race because of the danger they posed to everyone, especially with Tails' experimental extreme gear, since they weren't tested enough to make sure that they wouldn't be a threat to everyone. Technically, she wasn't wrong, as Tails reluctantly agreed with her in that argument. Later, when the Phantom Rider was causing trouble on the track, she told Duo to call security for help taking the Phantom Rider down, and she tried to, but didn't realize where she was using her Wispon, causing the track to break even more. As the final event would begin with Knight announcing it, it was set to be in the streets of Central City. Suddenly the Phantom Rider pops up, and soon the Diamond Cutters surround him, with Lanolin telling him that he's done. Sonic disagrees when suddenly the Babylon Rogues surround him as well, when Knight announces a halt to the race, saying that everyone is going after the Phantom Rider, and he's dodging the attacks from Lanolin. Soon Lanolin was about to fire at him until Tangle stops her, saying that she'll hit Sonic. Later on, after Knight broadcasts the crimes of Clean Sweep Inc. and exposes Clutch, Lanolin watches as the shuttle falls when suddenly Duo appears, to which Lanolin asks where he's been all this time. He reveals that Tangle and Whisper knew Sonic was the Phantom Rider and did not tell them, which causes Lanolin to lash out at them because it didn't matter that he was trying to help, as he was causing chaos. Sonic saying that they can do whatever they want with him later, but he's going to save those people on that shuttle, which Tangle convinces her to let it go until everything's okay, and Lanolin agrees, saying that they have work to do. Later, Lanolin tells Duo to stay close, as this is no time to be wandering off during a major emergency. Unfortunate for Duo, Clutch calls Duo via the walkie-talkie hidden in the scarf, alerting the others as he is Mimic, and ordered to come provide backup on the deck. He tries to dismiss it as a wrong number, but both Tangle and Whisper yell at him and give chase, leaving the sheep stunned that everyone who gave her warnings were right and she was wrong. She expresses her remorse to Tangle and Whisper, acknowledging the way she has acted wasn't the best course of action and the mistakes she has made. She wants to be better. She understands if they do not trust her anymore or do not want to continue working with her, then she is fine with the decision. Tangle tells her to save it, as they have people to save. Whisper agrees, admitting that she has also made her share of mistakes with Mimic. Tangle is still irritated though, but they will talk about that later, which Lanolin thanks her for. While the Diamond Cutters set out to save the city, Mimic disguised as a civilian continues to hide anxiously within the crowd. The reason I see people hate Lanolin is primarily for her disciplining Silver with a lot of how dare she talk down to Silver as he has more experience than her, or she should trust him more than anyone on the team. Lanolin doesn't know Silver personally, and he isn't correct all the time, as she wanted to be fair to the new recruit in Duo, so all she wanted was evidence and she'll look into it. Neither Whisper, who could have recorded the whole thing but didn't because her mask was conveniently broken, or Silver, who could have gotten a picture of Duo as Mimic to make sure everyone could look look into this, but instead he tried to scare him back into his original form, and Mimic called his bluff, which made everyone look at Silver like he was crazy. Now, the way that I see it currently is everyone was in the wrong at this point. Lanolin for being so black and white about needing hard evidence instead of humoring some reliable heroes to see if what they say has some truth to it, or it was a huge misunderstanding of what they saw instead of just shutting them down automatically. As for Silver, he made the rookie mistake of saying a statement without any evidence to back it up, so it wasn't a mistake of some kind, but he never did that, or more precisely tried to do it with the target knowing what he was trying to accomplish. Whisper's mistake is that she knows Mimic and should have been recording Duo's moments to make sure of what Silver was saying is true, basically by fixing her mask in time. But it was a convenience in the story that needed to happen, or the conflict would be pointless. Another thing is that the audience has the knowledge that Mimic is Duo, so they can look for the signs that Lanolin doesn't know, or Silver might know but is not certain of. So you can't really get mad at all of them for not knowing how obvious it is in hindsight. What I will say is that they shouldn't have revealed the traitor so early and had even the audience still guessing until the Extreme Gear competition for the reveal. Speaking of the Extreme Gear competition, when the Phantom Rider made his appearance, Lanolin wanted to capture him for disrupting the race for obvious reasons. Whisper and Tangle found out that it was Sonic, but trusted that he was doing this for a reason, so they kept quiet about it until Duo says Whisper and Tangle knew it was Sonic the whole time and didn't say anything. Tangle defended her decision, but Lanolin didn't care because Sonic broke the rules and needs to be turned in. She wasn't going to listen to anything the girls had to say because they kept lying to her about whom the Phantom Rider was. But it gets flipped later that Duo was actually Mimic, which stuns Lanolin that everyone who said it was Mimic was right, even though they couldn't prove it. But they had a hunch she should have taken a look into who Duo was instead of accepting him, because they need the bodies for the team. At this point, with multiple people saying Duo might not be who he says he is, may warrant some investigation, not doubling down on your own decision. During the evacuation of civilians from the area of a fallen restoration ship, Lanolin tries to apologize to Whisper and Tangle about Sonic and Duo. She should have done better and actually listened to everything and not just go to one side before making a call. That she knows her personality isn't great after everything she's been through, but she knows it and will work on it to be a better leader. But if they don't trust her still or want to be on the team anymore, then she understands. That right there shows some growth as a character, trying to right the wrongs you did and acknowledge that even if you apologize, things won't go back to the way they were usually. She even says in her apology that Whisper and Tangle have every right to feel mad and stay mad and not talk to her, which is a mature thing to do. You can't put a time limit on how someone is feeling. The takes on Lanolin are wild, as in they wanted her to either die or be revealed to be a villain so they don't have to see her anymore, because she challenged some people's favorite characters on some things. They couldn't explain themselves, so she didn't believe it, and that is a realistic response. Bring some evidence and we'll do something about it. I love that Lanolin is flawed and that she doesn't believe everyone out the gate, even if they are a big time hero. From butting heads with Sonic on the best plan for Eggpero City, to having evidence that their teammate is a double agent, it's like, I want a fair person who is a little damaged about her worldview and not happy-go-lucky all the time. That goes along with her creator, Adam Bryce Thomas, where he wanted someone to challenge the rest of the cast and not just go along with whatever recklessness a person says and wing it for the best results, because sometimes you can just make it worse. Adam does stream and does answer some questions about her, but he always makes it very clear that outside of designing her and giving her the personality that she has, he isn't a part of the lore team, so doesn't know the official stance on her. It's all by the lore team. During his streams, he just gives his opinion on her since he created her, though some things he says are picked up by the lore team. Adam loves coffee and is a bit of a snob, so Lanolin is as well, but not officially so far. Though you can see in an issue she does pour herself a cup of coffee. If Adam's idea does become canon, Lanolin's favorite food is coffee, but not the cheap stuff. Another is her background after the town was destroyed in Riverside. She didn't have the best upbringing with a controlling helicopter parent. We don't know Lanolin's potential mother's name, just a what if by Adam on what drove her to be who she is through his opinion. Lanolin hates recklessness and chaos. She prefers structure and peace over anything else because of her upbringing and challenging people to make sure they are correct. I like it when characters, like girl characters, aren't always bubbly and happy, but I think why people hate her is usually a dumb reason, and that is she was mean to their favorite character, and in this instance it's mostly about Silver. Lanolin is an interesting hero to have in the book because male characters are usually the hard-ass characters unless the female character is a romantic interest to the main character. So cut her some slack because she's still learning on how to be an effective and fair teammate and leader. That should do it for this updated video on Lanolin, but yeah, I can't believe people were out here saying they hope Lanolin is evil so she can get her ass kicked and leave the book. Or that one grimy Simpson meme. Yeah, people are wild, but stay gold, and I'll see you guys in the next video.